Hello everybody, I'm Jason. Welcome to our conversation. Today we will talk with Mark Relic and about his new novel, Markus. So today I have some questions I want to ask you, Mark.
Sure, man.
Okay.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, okay. And I want to ask you some questions.
Sure.
The first one is, why do you want to write this novel?
Why? Basically, that's maybe the hardest question I can answer to, because I mean, why? I'm not sure if I have answered not just why, but I'm a writer. That's what I do. I write, and so particular things happen in a particular time of life. So this novel came about like very spontaneously, and so the story I had a story for a very long time, and I was trying to figure out the way to convey it on the paper, and at the time I wrote some of it. I was actually writing the different thing. The different book which was published before this, and then when I got off with that, I knew that I had this one. So yeah, so why? I mean, that's what I do. I write. I've been writing for like most of my life, and writing is like really the way of going by, like whatever it hurts, whatever makes me happy, whatever is joyful, whatever is exciting, whatever is weird and like strange, because the writing is like the act itself is very mysterious, and I don't think I can ever realize it in the end. Like I can do it to the extent that I can do it, but it's a big mystery. It's a big mystery and a puzzle for me. So this novel came as such, yeah. So
and I think you enjoy writing because
I'm not sure if the word is enjoy, but it's like definitely something that is different than any other experience that you could possibly have.
And I think it's a very important part of your life.
Oh yeah. It's been yes, very important part and very significant, and I discovered a lot about myself since I'm doing this. So yeah, I'm just happy we have Markus now, and because this novel represents a lot, about the about what it tells. So like yeah.
Okay. And I still have one question.
Sure.
The New York City in the book, I think it's a little bit different from the city we know.
Right.
Which is true.
Well, you're right. It's kind of different in a novel. But I guess that's what makes him interesting. Because the city, powerful as New York City, you can view and have a point from different kind of angles and directions and so on. Because I mean, the city like that, you can get to know all your life. And the question is whether you can really say that you know the city. And that's what makes him exciting and beautiful. Because I mean, if you know the story about one city to the end, I'm not sure what that is, because I like to think more in a way of like discovering new things all the time. That keeps it interesting. So yeah, the New York is in this novel is quite different, but the depiction of the story has a big influence on that, because I mean I was drawn to tell the story from really different kind of perspective, from the different perspective, and I have to say I'm satisfied the way I did it, because before it convinces anybody else, it has to convince me. If it convinces me, then it passed. So yeah, I think we have a good story here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think as a Chinese, I'm Chinese, and when I just read a book, I want to read a book. I just afraid it's difficult for me.
Right.
But I think I can read a book
Yes.
swimmingly.
Right.
And did you think about using some simple words to make sure everybody can understand?
Absolutely. The big deal about the language is that it's understandable for everybody. Now, I don't care what it is, whether it's a book or a novel or a short story or newspaper or email. I don't care. So that's what I was aiming at. Like, I wanted this story to be reachable for anybody. If you want to read this book and you really want to read it, you can find your way through it. You can find a way through it because the nature of language is playing with you. As you read along, you kind of wish for read more and more and more because you see you can do it. You see you can do it, and it draws you to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And so like while you're reading, you're thinking about what you're reading, and it doesn't come like hard on you. That's what I was thinking about because I was thinking about the whole wide range of reach with this story. So that's why. I mean, I'm a fan of easy language, so to speak, easy language. Because I mean, if I can read something I understand, I will love it more. I'm not sure.
I think that's a very good thing for the reader.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Because there are a lot of components, a lot of elements in the novel that are like they're just smooth. They glide. They're just like it's a funny thing because you have a feeling of like, wow, this is actually something very very playful. I can do something with this.
Yeah.
And I'm reading it, and I'm not sure what I feel, but that makes me do kind of more of it. I'm not sure that makes sense.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I'm a fan of that kind of language, and so sure we have it here. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe we can talk about the story. Okay?
Sure.
So I want to ask you, what is the change of Markus after his wife was murdered?
Right. That's one peculiar event in the story because we have the main character Markus, who this story is really about. He's a New Yorker, and he lives in New York City. And he was on top of his game. He was very successful in what he was doing. Like, he had a very good job. He had a wife he loved. He lived in the city he loved, and so on. And one day, all that changes by one misfortunate event that he couldn't be in any way conscious of, like predicted or like whatever. And so after that event changes everything. It changes his life. It changes his character. It changes his own perception.
Almost everything.
Everything is changed because right after that, really he wakes up in a world. In which he's not really sure what it is. The only thing he knew when he moved on is that he was alive. He was alive, and like, now what? I mean, what is this? I mean, there are a lot of. I don't want to give much away, but there's a story behind the event and after the event. What happens in between? That's a kind of a mystery. Because I like to use metaphors for things. I think metaphors explain things in very good fashion. So in this novel, I play with that too. You can consider this novel entirely of metaphors. So the story can be a metaphor. The city can be a metaphor. The character can be a metaphor. What happened to him can be a metaphor. So like, yeah, I mean, So yeah, but you know, I wish this reaches all the readers, and I hope to get any feedback from you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the last question.
Sure.
So after finish this book, so what's your next plan?
Considering I'm writing my entire life, of course I'm all into publishing another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had one novel published before this one, and so you know, I tend to think that I found a very good publisher from the city itself, and so you know, I believe there are no limits in anything you do. So like, I'm very excited about the life of this thing. I'm very excited about the life of future publishing works, and you know, so I hope to see you, and I hope to this novel to reach everybody, and you know, and really I hope to see and hear feedbacks about it. So until my next novel, I'm gonna leave you with that.
I'm really looking forward
Sure,
to the
thank you.
next novel.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
It was very pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you today.
Alright, thank you.